Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today is March 15th and we're going to be doing quite a few things in this video. I got a lot to do today, but the first thing that I wanted to get into before we get into anything else is I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I just want to say thank you, and I really appreciate the love, the support, and all of the comments, all of the the good stuff that comes with having somebody who follows your channel. So I just wanted to get that out the way. Also, before we get into this video, if you're new to my channel, I'm a full-time reseller. If you've already, kind of watched a minute or two of this video without knowing who I am or what it is that I do, I buy and sell stuff. I go to, thrift stores. I go to flea markets. I go to estate sales. I go to garage sales. I do private picks. I buy out estates. I buy storage units. I go to auctions, and I make money by finding an item and buying that item and reselling that item for more money. I sell on multiple different platforms. I also sell locally. So if you're into buying and selling stuff, if you're into flipping items and making a living that way, or maybe you just do it part-time, maybe you just do it to support yourself, or maybe you do it full-time to support you and your family. Either way, welcome to the channel, and welcome back to all of you that are subscribers. Alright, so today we're going to be doing a little bit of packing and shipping down in the warehouse. We also got a bunch of Legos to go through, and that's the reasoning that I'm making this video today. We're going to talk about how I buy and sell Legos. So in previous videos, I've spoke briefly about Legos, but I'm actually a pretty big Lego seller. I buy and sell quite a few Legos, and usually the way that I do it is by weight. Now, every now and then I'll sell some Legos by the sets. If I have a complete set, if I have the manual, if I have a complete set that has the manual in the box, then obviously I'm going to sell those Legos just like that. But most of the time, when I'm out sourcing, I find just bins of mixed Legos. And that's pretty common out in garage sales and estate sales and even flea markets. And then I also, put advertisements on Facebook and Craigslist that I buy Legos. So I also buy them from, just other people that have Legos that they don't want no more. So today we're going to be talking about how I do this, because I was talking to some other resellers a couple of days ago, and it was surprising to me that they did not realize that you could actually buy and sell Legos by weight. They were kind of oblivious to the fact that Legos sell pretty good by weight. So what I did was I wrote a couple of steps to buying Legos, or the way that I do things. Now, there's tons of ways, to do this. This isn't the surefire way to buy and sell Legos. It's just my way. It's just the way that I've been doing it, and it's worked great for me, and possibly it could work great for you. And if you haven't ever sold Legos, this can get you, get your foot in the door, and you can get some experience, and you can start buying and selling Legos and making money in the meantime. So first step is buying Legos. You need to find the Legos. So basically, just try to go out to garage sales, estate sales. Flea markets are a good place. I find quite a few Legos at flea markets. Sometimes you can get Legos at Goodwills and thrift stores. Usually, though, you're going to have to pay up for those Legos. So I try to find my Legos as cheap as possible, and that's what you should do too. It's highly recommended. No, I'm just kidding. So everybody should try to find them, as cheap as possible. So the first step's obviously to buy the Legos. The second step is I clean them and sort them. So you might say, well, Chad, what do you mean by clean them, and what do you mean by sort them? Well, cleaning them is a process that I do just to make sure that the Legos get top dollar. So if you have a bunch of dirty Legos, you might as well just, toss them away, because most people are not going to want a bunch of dog hair, children's slobber all over them, cat hair, all that good stuff. You need to be able to clean the Legos. So usually what I do is I fill up my bathtub about halfway full of hot water, and then I put in a couple of capfuls of bleach, which works great with not only cleaning them, but also, you know, removing all of the germs and all of the bacteria and all that good stuff. So then what I do is I dump in all of the Legos, and then I have a really big bucket. It's made by Tupperware, and it has the 2 handles on each side. What I do with that is I stretch a like a leg stocking for, you know, you can buy them at Walmart. It's just a regular stocking that, you know, women put on their legs. I stretch that over the top of the big plastic bin. So then when I dump the Legos in the bathtub, I, you know, wash them really good, move them around, make sure they're all good. Then I drain the water. Then I rinse the Legos one time. And then I put the Legos into the bin with the legging, and it basically will hold the Legos and only allow the water to come out. So basically it's an easy way to dry the Legos to make sure that the Legos are not full of water. And then I take those Legos off of that bin and I put them in a clothes hamper. I usually have the clothes hamper lined with either like a towel or a sheet, so they can sit there and dry. And usually they don't have that much water on them and they dry really fast. But if you're having a hard time drying them, you can also set the clothes hamper full of Legos. You can set it outside on your front porch, your back porch, out in the sunlight, and they'll dry really fast. So that's my process of cleaning the Legos. Now, sorting the Legos is something that I do because if you just sell mixed Legos, first off, you're losing money because there's a lot of money in certain parts, and certain items are just worth more money. So when it comes down to Legos, the most, you know, important thing is to separate the blocks from the figures. Also, any of the bigger pieces, maybe you know, any of the flat bottom pieces that you build on, any of the bigger like castle pieces or pieces that are much bigger than just a block. There's all kinds of different pieces. You need to do your own research and go look at, you know, all of these different pieces, or just get a bunch of Legos and start sorting through them, and you'll see that there's bigger pieces. They all have different names, and they're for, you know, like say it's a boat. Instead of building the boat with nothing but small little blocks, they might have a couple of big pieces for the ends that are just big, bulky, one solid piece of Lego. Those pieces will always sell for more money, so you don't want to include them in on the Legos that you're going to be selling for weight. So I usually remove all of the bigger, bulky pieces, and I usually remove all of the weapons, the extras, anything that is not an actual Lego block, all of the animals. The animals sell really good for me. The figures sell really good for me. And basically, you're just separating all of the blocks from everything else. So that's the first thing after you clean the Legos, is to separate and sort all of the Legos. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Step 3 is to separate all of the blocks into colors. And this is really easy. It doesn't really take that much time. And I think one of the big setbacks that resellers have with doing Legos is they think it's going to take them a massive amount of time. And honestly, it doesn't really take that much time unless you move really slow. Usually I can sort, 4 or 5 bins full of Legos in an hour or two. It's really not that difficult, and if you just sit down and get the job done, it's over in no time. So basically, you want to sort through them, and then you want to separate all of the colors. So red, blue, yellow, gray, dark gray, white, black, red, if I haven't already said that. And you just want to put all of those into separate bins. And then when you get done doing this, now it's the fun part. The fun part is taking those bins and weighing each bin to see how much Legos you have. And so basically the way that I do it is, if I have, let's say, a bin full of blue blocks, I will set that bin on my scale, and let's say I have, 31 pounds. Then I will kind of reduce it, because obviously the bin, obviously weighs something. So I'll just say I have, let's say 25 pounds even of red Legos. So then after I get done, obviously buying the Legos, cleaning and sorting the Legos, separating the Legos by color, weighing each of the bins, and then I'm going to list the Legos on eBay. And the way that I list the Legos is usually I sell bags per pound, or I've seen some people sell, there's different weights that you can sell. You could sell 2 pounds, you can sell 5-pound bags. It's just dependent upon how many Legos you have and what you want to do with them. I sell mine usually per pound. So basically I weigh the bin of Legos. If I have 25 pounds, then I'm going to make a listing for 1-pound bags of blue Lego blocks, and I will make sure to explain in the listing that you are getting a variety mixed bag of blue blocks, all 100% genuine official Legos, and I will put a price. Now, when it comes down to pricing Legos by the weight, you need to do your own research, because you're not going to, and there's no way for me to tell you how to sell your Legos, because I don't know how much you're going to be buying your Legos for. I might buy my Legos at a different price. Basically, I would just recommend that you go on eBay and you start looking at Legos, and you start paying attention to how much are people getting for Legos per pound and for what colors. And that will give you enough information. Just like you would do with any other item, just look the item up in the completed listings and try to determine what's the average selling price for blue Legos, red Legos, gray Legos, black Legos, and so on. And it's fairly simple, and you're going to be able to make really good money if you buy correctly. Now, if you're spending too much money on Legos, then it's going to be hard to make money on them, especially selling them by weight. But if you're getting the Legos extremely cheap, and that's the way that I like to do it. I mean, I love Legos. I like selling Legos. Legos makes me quite a bit of money. I usually am always selling them. They're always listed on my eBay. But I never really go out and try to, overspend for Legos. I understand that, it's just like everything else in the reselling business. If I can't make a profit, then there's no reason for me doing it. And I know a lot of people that are resellers that they get addicted to, buying and selling Legos, and they get, they go out there to these estate sales and they're spending too much money on the Legos and they're barely making a profit. And that's just not the way that I do things. The only time that I'm going to buy Legos is when I'm actually getting them extremely cheap. I mean, I'll pay $5 or $10 for a bin of Legos all day long. But if somebody's wanting $30, $40, $50 a bin or something for a bunch of mixed Legos, and then I have to clean them, then I have to sort them, and then I have to go through the process of listing them and separating the colors, then it becomes not worth it. So you really need to pay attention to the details and understand that there's a little bit more involved when it comes down to buying and selling Legos than just going out there and buying an item, photographing an item, and listing the item. So you have to make sure that you take all of that into account because you don't want to end up losing money. So anyways, that's how I do Legos. And so, like I said at the beginning of the video, obviously there is numerous ways to clean Legos. There's numerous ways to sort Legos. There's numerous ways to do this, everything that I listed. And I'm not saying that my way is right or wrong. I'm just saying that that's the way that I do it. And hopefully that, somebody out there that hasn't ever dealt in Legos can kind of, learn from me or take, whatever it is from me and implement it into your own business. And possibly this motivates you to go out there and buy some Legos and try to get into the Lego flipping business. Because to be honest with you, there's quite a bit of money in it. I just recently, the last time that I did a big Lego cleaning and sorting haul was about 8 months ago, and I sorted, I think it was like 8 to 10 bins of Legos, and I went through the entire process, and I've been selling Legos ever since then. So it's been 8 months almost, and I've been selling Legos consistently throughout this 8 months by the pound and by the color. And then I also have been selling, you know, minifigures and the animals and things of that nature. Now, when it comes down to the figures and the animals, you can either lot the figures up and sell them like that. Usually if I do that, I'll put them on an auction because they usually just bring more money auction-wise, especially if somebody sees a specific figure they want. They're liable to bid on the entire lot just to get that one figure. But usually what I will do is I will sell the figures individually. I will clean them up really good. I'll take really good photographs. And then on the animals, I usually sell those individually as well. Some of the animals can sell for really good money, so you need to make sure that you look these Legos up. You don't want to just, you know, list an item without knowing how much it sells for. Legos always have the logo on the bottom, and then they always have a 5-digit number. I think it's 5, or some of them could be 6 or 7 digits. But look on the bottom of the Lego. Sometimes it could be, you know, it can be hard to find the number, but eventually you'll actually, you know, see where the number is on the Lego, and then all you have to do is go to Google and look that item up. So there's actually a couple of really good websites that you can use to identify individual bricks, individual Legos, anything pretty much. So Peeron, which is P-E-E-R-O-N, Bricklink, which is B-R-I-C-K-L-I-N-K, and then Brickset, B-R-I-C-K-S-E-T. Those are the 3 websites that I use to identify Legos, or to basically look up anything regarding Legos. And if you come across sets that are somewhat complete, well, so let's say for instance you buy a bin full of mixed Legos, but on the top of it is a Star Wars battleship, but it's only, you know, 85% built. It's missing a few pieces. Set that unit to the side, and then later on, after you've finished all of your cleaning, your sorting, all of that, you can go to one of these sites, you can look up the actual set and the set number, determine which set this is, and then you can look up all of the pieces needed for that set, and then you can try to you know, determine what pieces are missing, and then you finish the build, and then it's going to sell for more money, because anything completed is going to sell and bring more money. And that's what I do as well. I also complete sets. If I have a manual and I think I have a complete set, I will actually go through the process of putting something together. I just recently purchased a full bin of Legos, and it has numerous sets. And basically, the lady that I purchased the Legos from said that her daughter had all of the sets put together, and she had them all on display in her bedroom. But then they took them all down from display and put them in a bin, and then put all of the bins, or all of the manuals inside of the bin. So I'm pretty sure that these Legos are going to be probably, you know, put back together. I'm not going to, since I have the manuals, I'm not going to, you know, divide these up and sell them by weight. I'm actually going to put them back together. Now, when you're doing this, it can be time consuming. If you have children, it is a big time saver, because I have a son and a daughter who loves building Legos. So usually what I'll do is I'll give them the Legos and the manuals, and he will just build them on his free time, and it really does save me a lot of time. But so, you know, this is basically just a quick summary of how I sell Legos. Hopefully it helps you. Hopefully it motivates you. Maybe it gives you something to think about when it comes, comes down to things that you can buy and sell. I know that, most people understand that Legos is, something that's actively bought and sold. I understand that most resellers, find Legos all the time. They see Legos, they buy them, they sell them. I just don't believe that everybody understands that you can buy and sell Legos by weight, that you don't really have to worry about, putting them all together. If you're the type of person that doesn't want to deal with Legos and you don't want to have to put together each little set, you can just easily buy them and divide them up and then sell them by weight. You can also sell them by weight without doing any of the separating by color. You can just put, you're selling 1 pound bags of mixed Legos. You don't have to go through all of these steps. The only reason that I do this is to get extra money. They just sell for more money that way, and I've had better luck getting rid of them that way because big collectors and big builders and people that actually use Legos, they want certain colors and they don't want to buy just mixed bags because they're spending money on bricks and Legos that they don't need. So hopefully that this, helped you in some way. I'm going to go down to the warehouse. We have a couple of things that we need to do, and I'll give you a good idea of what I mean by sorting Legos. I'll show you some of the Legos that I'm going to be sorting in the days to come, and we'll talk about a few other things. So let's head down to the warehouse. We are in the warehouse, and today I got a lot of work to get done. So first things first, I need to pack and ship some orders. Today I have 11 orders going out, not really that much. Yesterday I had a couple of orders come in late, so really I only have about 9 orders going out, plus the couple that came in late yesterday. But I do have some big ticket items going out today. I have a $1,100 receiver that I need to pack up. I also have a broken Rolex Submariner that for some reason it took a long time to sell. That watch has been listed for, I want to say it's been listed for like maybe 4 months, something like that. It doesn't work. It was a watch that I picked up off of Craigslist about 4 months ago. It needed some repairs. My plan was to actually repair the watch and then resell it. But after talking to my watch guy, he advised me that the best bet would probably just be to sell it because the amount of money it would have taken to actually fix the watch just wasn't worth it for me as a reseller. So I went ahead and sold it. I still got some good money. I still made quite a bit of money on the watch, and it needs to go out today. And anytime that I'm shipping like an expensive item like a watch or a piece of jewelry, I always try to pack it, very professionally. I always try to make sure that the packing is really good. And, I want the people to be happy when they receive their item. Even though that they're buying the item off of eBay, I want to make sure that, it's presentable and they're happy when they pull the item out of the box. That goes for anything that I pack and ship. I try to do the best that I can with any of the items that I sell on eBay. So anyways, let me get these orders packed and shipped, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the Legos. So for regular VCRs, the actual just plain old VCRs, I usually use a 16 by 12 by 12 box. These boxes I get for free. I have bunches and bunches of these boxes, and they usually work pretty good as long as it's just a regular VCR. Now, a VCR DVD combo or anything larger will not fit in this box, but for the most part, I've used so many of these boxes, and it's saved me so much money because I'm using free boxes, and I'm also using free packing material. All the packing material that you see right here was 100% free. This is the process that I use to pack regular VCRs. Basically, I just wrap them up with probably 3, maybe 4 layers of the thin bubble wrap, and then I will put a layer of bubble wrap across the front. I'll make sure it's taped up real nice, and then it goes inside the box with packing peanuts. And that is what the finished product looks like. Very good box, very sturdy. The packing peanuts makes it to where I'm not adding a bunch of weight. So all in all, I'm able to ship this item, and it's probably not even going to be that expensive. I forget the destination that it's going to. This is a pretty good way to pack them, and I have absolutely, you know, there's no cost in the shipping materials, because all of my shipping materials, well, at least, you know, let's say 90% of my shipping materials is absolutely free. And this is exactly why I like my photo setup. Now you can see that I have a pretty good size Harley Davidson motorcycle seat sitting on my photo table. And this is why I'm a big advocate for having a pretty simple but, you know, perfect photo setup. This table, with the way that it's set up, I can put almost virtually anything right there in the middle and take pictures of it, and the pictures are going to come out superb. With any other setup, I would have had to move these lights around. I would have had to add something or take something away. You know, I can list small, I mean, I can photograph small items, I can photograph big items, I can photograph clothing, I can photograph, I can even put my half mannequins like this, and that mannequin up there if I want to do clothing on a mannequin. Or I can do just flat lay clothing right here and shoot from above looking down. Either way, the photos come out amazing. How important is it to test every feature with the device? Especially something like this, a Sony Mega Storage 400 CD player. This thing has so many different features, and you know, this same thing goes for a DVD player, for a VCR DVD combo. You need to actually test every feature. I know so many resellers that will literally just cut an item on. They might just put a CD in it, press play, and make sure that the unit plays, but they don't test, you know, to make sure maybe will it switch from disc to disc? Will it eject a disc correctly? All of that stuff is extremely important, and it will also save you really big time later on down the road if somebody were to get the item and you know, obviously say that there's an issue with it. It could cause you a bad feedback. You need to properly test everything. You also need to test every feature, and obviously I sell quite a bit of electronics. I'm always testing units. That's what I'm doing right now. I sell anything from VCRs to, you know, tape decks to all kinds of CD changers, amplifiers. I got newer stuff, I got older stuff, but I test every little feature. I'm guaranteed to reduce my return rate by far, because I take it a little bit further than most resellers, and I make sure that I test every little aspect of a unit. So I went to go test this unit, and I thought I had the correct tape to test it, but I seem to have pretty much lost my Betamax tape. I had a few of them that I purchased at an estate sale a few years ago. It had somebody's wedding on it, and I was using them to test units, but somehow I've lost those. So now I have no way to test this unit. For most of you, you're probably looking at this and you're probably thinking, man, this is some sort of VCR, VHS player, but actually it is a Betamax. It's made by Sony, video cassette recorder model SL5010. And as you can see, if you grab a regular VHS tape, it just doesn't fit. These are much smaller units. I don't have any sitting around. I thought for sure that I could find them, but I couldn't. So this unit is probably just going to be listed and sold as non-tested. It does power on. The unit does seem to, you know, all of the buttons seem to work. It's really clean on the inside. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to get for it untested. I might just set it over in the corner and order some actual tapes for it and then go ahead and test it. I'm not really sure, but this is the problem of you know, dealing with vintage electronics. Alrighty, so these are all of the Legos. These are some of the Legos, most of them, that I purchased within the last, I would say 2 months, 3 months, something like that. And these all need to be sorted. So basically, let me start down here on this end. This is the bin of Legos that I purchased from a garage sale. Most of the sets are the Lego Friends. And if you're not familiar, with that set, they're Lego Friends. And here's all of the manuals for each set that is inside of this bin. So basically, like I was saying earlier, if I have the manual and I have the set, I'm pretty sure I can, put this together and sell it for more money. Now, like I was saying also, if you don't want to put them together, that's fine. You can still sell them. The main thing is to figure out if you have those items in here. So basically what I will do when I sort through this box is to determine if I have this set. Do I have that vehicle? Do I have that trailer? Do I have those 2 little figures, the horse? And once I see that that set is actually in this bin and it's just taken apart or it's broke down, then I'll put it together, or I'll get one of my kids to put it together. And that's how I handle sets with manuals if I have it. Now, here is some other sets that I found in the bins that are pretty much put together. This is another example of what I was talking about earlier. I can get more money for something like this if it's put together. Instead of just selling those as individual pieces, I'm actually selling it as a set. I don't have the manual for this, but it's still worth more like that than it is in color, regular colored weighed out bricks. So here's some other, sets that I think I can put back together once I finish sorting all the bricks out. Here's all of these Legos. This entire bin, see how some of it is still put together? There's quite a bit in this bin. There's a lot of, little vehicles and things of that nature. So this set's gonna probably do really good. I'm gonna be able to probably put together a lot of these sets. There's another booklet. But yeah, you get an idea of how I buy Legos. This set I purchased, like I said, at a garage sale. It was extremely cheap. I didn't have to pay a lot of money, so that's really good. Here's some more bins. These are just a bunch of figures, a bunch of weapons, things of that nature. These are just larger pieces. This is kind of just a big, mix of just Legos. There's all kinds of stuff in here, and these are going to have to be sorted through. Here's another bin of Legos. Going to have to sort through all of these and make sure that I have all of the figures and everything else out of it. And over here, we got some Legos here. Now this is just a mixture of, bags of Legos that I purchased at, estate sales or garage sales over the past couple of months. Like a little bin of Legos like this, I probably only have like maybe $1 in it. These are like all individual bags. So like maybe at a garage sale, I seen this bag of Legos and I purchased it for like $1 or $2. Same thing goes for a bag like this. Lots of times you'll see people will put the manual and the pieces inside of the bag. So hopefully this is a complete set. I will put that this one together and then I'll try to sell it as a complete set. Here we go, a manual. This is 3427, and this looks like all of the minifigures for this actual set. This must be some sort of basketball set with a basketball goal and a bunch of figures, but they don't have the other pieces. So this is a really good set of figures because somebody that's looking for these figures, but maybe they don't want the actual goal, or maybe they have the goal and they need the figures, this is a perfect set of figures to sell. I would sell these together. I wouldn't split these up. This I actually remember buying at a garage sale, and I think I paid like $0.25 or 50 cents for these. So this is, this is Lego money. This is the type of stuff that you want to be looking for in the terms of Legos. Here we go. We got other items in here. This bin, I think, is just a mixture of all kinds of stuff. I remember buying a lot of this stuff was just mixed up at, you know, estate sales and garage sales. Here's some other figures, some other miscellaneous Legos. Now, stuff like this type of stuff is like what I was explaining earlier in the video, larger pieces. So this isn't just an individual brick. This is actually a larger piece, and this is actually the older Legos, I think. I'm not sure what date this is. I'm gonna have to look it up. But a piece like this would sell really good. This will be listed by itself unless I have the complete set down here or the complete boat. But most likely it's just gonna be listed like that, and somebody's gonna buy that, no problem. Here we go. We got just a bunch of other miscellaneous Legos. Here's a set that appears to be a little car, a boat, and a bunch of figures. Not really sure what this is, but you know, we'll figure it out. We'll go through it all. Here's another set. This looks to be like a castle or something. Well, this is a piece to a Ferrari. So sometimes these kinds of sets will actually sell really good. I've done really good with vehicles like, you know, Ferraris and things of that nature. So I'm gonna have to look inside of this bin and see if I can actually put this car together, because this car will actually sell for pretty good money if it's put together. So this is the type of stuff that, you know, I love to find when I buy you know, Legos in bulk. I can already see there is pieces to the car in this bin. All of these red and black pieces are all pieces to make that car. So this is the process that you have to take when you're selling Legos, and it's very tedious, but it's definitely, you know, it's definitely worth it. There's another piece to that car. You can see there's the front fender, and it's, you know, it's a process, but I got to go through all of these Legos in the next couple of days, and I will, you know, I'll definitely be sorting these out and putting them in bins for colors. I usually use bins like this. These bins you can get from Home Depot or Lowe's. You can get them fairly cheap. I just bought these the other day at Lowe's. These were extremely cheap, unless you have bins, or you can just use cardboard boxes. But I like to use bins just because it's easier. And then once I get done sorting them, then I can weigh one of these bins by itself, and I can get the weight of the bin. So then when I weigh the Legos, I can determine exactly how much weight of Legos I actually have. So then when I go to list it, I can actually list my listing properly with the correct details. Now sometimes I get complete sets like this. You know, you buy a set at a garage sale or something, and sometimes you get lucky and they're complete. But most of the times, you're going to find bins of Legos. You know, you're just going to stumble upon this at an estate sale or a garage sale, and you're going to be able to get those Legos for pretty cheap. So, you know, that gives you an idea of what I mean by, you know, buying Legos in bulk, selling Legos by weight. There's a process. You're going to have to learn the process or create your own process. But once you get things kind of, you know, going and you start doing it, it becomes kind of, I guess you could say, second nature, and it's fairly easy to process a big bulk, you know, lot of Legos. I'm going to be able to process all of these Legos within a day or two, and then they'll be listed, and then I'll be able to sell them. Now, the ones that I have to put together, those sets will take me a little bit longer, but I won't like dedicate, you know, days and days to putting those sets together. I will basically just put them together, you know, when I have free time, and eventually when they're complete and put together, I'll photograph them, and then after they're photographed, I'll just take them apart and put them in a bag, and that's how I ship the Legos. I don't ship the Legos you know, together. I'll take them apart and put them in bags, and then whoever buys it can put it together for themselves. But always make sure that you put in the listing that all Legos will be shipped, taken apart. You don't want to like list Legos and then make them think that they're going to receive the Legos already built. You want to make sure that they understand that you're going to be taking these Legos apart to ship them. And that's the process. Those are the Legos. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I actually learned that Legos was selling by weight years and years ago. There was a lady here in town who owned a little business where you could go inside of the store and you can sit down and you could build anything you wanted out of Legos. And then when you got done building it, you can either pay to take that item home, or you can just pay by the hour or something. But she had ads all over social media about 4 or 5 years ago stating that she buys Legos by weight. And I remember me and my brother were talking about it, and we were like, that's a really good idea. And then that's when I started to investigate, and I started to realize that people were actually selling Legos by weight online. And at that point, I didn't really realize that people were actually doing it. I just wasn't aware of it, and so that's why I wanted to talk about it in this video, because I imagine that there's a few of you out there that are kind of like, wow, I didn't know that you could sell Legos by the weight. Most resellers do understand, and they do know that you can do this, and they do know that people are doing this, and a lot of resellers are doing it themselves. So I don't expect everybody to be unknowledgeable about this little niche, but it's definitely a profitable niche, and you can definitely make good money in it. And that's why I wanted to share my information and the way that I do things, because there's actually really good money to be made. I sell lots and lots of Legos, and I do it all the time, and they're constantly selling. I always sell a bag, a bag or two, maybe 3, 4 bags a week. Every week I'm always shipping something out Lego related. And so that shows you that these actually sell. If you want to do some more research, go on eBay, type in Legos, go to completed listings, and you're going to see that these are actually selling, and they're selling good. The animals, the figures, all of the different types of pieces, and you can go on those websites that I mentioned earlier, and you can get a good understanding of what's actually really valuable. There's some really rare pieces, and especially if you find the older Legos, there's definitely, figures and animals and things of that nature that are super, super valuable. So go do some research, get familiar with Legos, get knowledgeable about Legos so you can start making money buying and selling them. Alrighty, so that's the end of today's video. I hope that you were able to learn something from today's video. If you plan on getting into Legos and you have any questions, just reach out. Also, do your own research. Go onto YouTube. There is tons of other people that made videos regarding Legos, and they go in depth regarding all the details of selling and buying Legos. So go check out some of those videos. I just want to say thanks a lot for coming and watching another video. And also, I want to give a big shout out to a couple of resellers that also make content on the YouTube platform. People that have shouted me out in their videos. First person that I want to suggest that you go subscribe to, if you're not already subscribed to his channel, is Mike. It is New Found Past Thrifts and Flips. He is a really good guy, very knowledgeable reseller, and has a really good channel with a bunch of really good content. So go check his channel out. His name is Mike. I'm going to leave all of these links down in the description. Also, I want you to go check out Ronnie. His channel is Heart Pickers. He mainly deals in clothing. He also deals in other items, but I think he's more a clothing seller, but he's very knowledgeable. I've learned so much from him over the years, and he's also a really good guy, very down to earth, and super knowledgeable in the field of reselling. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, go check out his channel, watch his videos, subscribe to his channel, and show him some love. Also, Chad, the Golden Finger Picker, he has the same name as me, so I automatically have to show love to him. Also, go check out Scott, the Bearded Picker. He is a really good reseller, and he puts out a lot of really good content. He does a lot of retail arbitrage. He also goes to a lot of estate sales and does a lot of the same stuff that I do. But anyways, go check out all of those resellers and subscribe to their channel. Show them some love and let them know that Chad sent you. Until next time, folks, I'm out of here. Peace.